So you mentioned this earlier before that you're still negotiating or speaking with people that own the heavy vehicles over there. So are you still at that point where you're trying to get them to leave on their own, or you're past that point and you know that you're going to have to intervene with force?
So we'll never be past that point. I implore anyone that's there, get in your truck. We will navigate safe passage for you to leave our city streets. We want this to end, this demonstration to end peacefully. We want people to realize that it is coming to an end and not require us to escalate in terms of how we look to deal with demobilizing it. We will never stop trying to get people to leave our streets. That's exactly what we want them to do. Just know that there's a deliberate plan, there's commitment, and there's the resourcing that we now have in place to actually finally end this. But it can be ended by all the demonstrators that sit there, by getting in their vehicles and going home.
Are you negotiating or in talks at all with people that are or say that they are at the head of this convoy, organizers per se? Are you negotiating with them?
So as I indicated, we continue to negotiate with individuals and with people that represent different pockets within the demonstration group. It is our desire, it is in everyone's best interest, it is absolutely what we want to do, is to have this end peacefully. We want people to go home. We will talk to anyone who we need to talk to for them to go home. But the demonstrators there need to know we have commitment, we have a plan, this needs to end.
And you don't think that there's going to be a fourth weekend of big parties and celebration just like we've seen last weekend?
I can't place any timelines on when it will ultimately culminate. I can tell you it will be a very different picture in the downtown core this weekend than it has been from the previous 3 weekends.
Sir Charles Gagnon with L'Ottawa newspaper. Again, talking this morning with truckers inside their truck, they're not coming out, they're not leaving. So how will you enforce whatever you need to enforce? Are you going to take them out of their trucks? How is that going to happen?
So I'm not in a position to be able to give up any of the operational issues that we've discussed. What I can tell you is we've taken into consideration many different circumstances that could exist within the footprint of the demonstration and in and around it, and we're actually planning for several different eventualities. I'll say it again, we want people to peacefully leave, but I can tell you that if they do not peacefully leave, we have plans, strategies, and tactics to be able to get them to leave.
And obviously, I don't know when you guys are going to go in or whatever, but there's still lots of people just walking on Wellington Street and all that are supporting. So what, and they're probably going to continue. What are you saying to these people if they don't want to leave either?
So our message has been pretty consistent around that. And more importantly, the message from our community and our residents has been pretty consistent around that. Do not come to our downtown core. We are tired of what's occurring there. We're sick of what's happening in our streets, so leave our area. We will continue with that message this weekend, but you're seeing an increased enforcement presence, and we won't be allowing people to come down for the unlawful activity of engaging in demonstrations.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, everyone. This concludes our media availability today. So that concludes my interaction with the investment group.
Okay. See, I told you they're coming after them. Let's restart.
Thank you for joining us for this media availability with Interim Chief Bell. Joining us are Deputy Commissioner and the RCMP Deputy Commissioner Mike Duhem from Federal Policing. Merci de vous joindre à nous pour le point de presse du chef par intérim Steve Bell, le commissaire adjoint Chris Harkins de la PPO et le commissaire adjoint Mike Duhem de la GRC, Police fédérale, sont également présents. My name is Constable Pram Singh, and I'll be your moderator. We will begin with remarks from the interim Chief Bell, and then we will proceed to a 10 to 20 minutes question period. Je suis l'agent Param Singh, le modérateur pour la période de questions de 15 à 20 minutes. Nous commencerons d'abord par l'annoncé du chef par intérim. Chief.
Thanks, Pat. Appreciate it. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming. Bonjour à tous. My name is Steve Bell, and I'm the interim chief of the Ottawa Police Service. I want to thank our partners from the Ontario Provincial Police and the Royal Canadian Mounted Police for being here today. With me, I have Deputy Commissioner Chris Harkins of the OPP and Deputy Commissioner Mike Duhem of the RCMP. The Ottawa Police Service, the RCMP, and the OPP, as well as numerous police agencies in Ontario and Quebec, are now here in Ottawa. We've been bolstering our resources, developing clear plans, and preparing to take action. The action is imminent. In the past few days, we've been communicating directly with the unlawful protesters. We've told them they must leave, and we've warned them the consequences of disobeying these rules. We want to end this unlawful protest peacefully and safely. We are prepared to employ lawful techniques to remove the unlawful protesters from our streets. Today, I want to speak directly to our residents and our community, specifically the residents and businesses of our downtown core. Your safety, everyone's safety, is our priority. We know that you've been through a lot, and I know that ongoing unlawful protests have caused pain and suffering to you and your loved ones. We're committed to returning your streets back to you and back to normal. We know that increased police presence within the area may be distressing. Our officers are here to help you and your community. They care about the community, and they're here to help keep you safe while we complete this operation. Overnight and into today, we've begun to harden perimeter around the protests. We're installing fencing and other barriers throughout the area. In furtherance of our efforts to bring our city back to a state of normalcy, we've introduced a secured area. The secured area includes the area from Bronson Avenue to the Canal and from the Queensway to Parliament Hill. The secured area includes almost 100 checkpoints that will have police presence to ensure that those seeking entry to that secure area for an unlawful reason, such as joining a protest, cannot enter the downtown core. Again, I know that these are measures that our community is not used to. They will be in place only as long as necessary to remove the unlawful protests. Our officers are aware of the impact on you, and we're taking every step we can to minimize the impact on our residents and businesses while keeping out those who could do more harm to our community. We want to reassure everyone that if you live, work, or have a lawful reason to be in the area, there will be minimal impacts on your access. Once through the checkpoints, those with a lawful reason will be free to move about. Individuals may leave the secure area at any time. As we continue to increase our actions, we will be communicating them directly to the public. We have open lines of communication with our schools and other institutions in the area. To those engaged in the unlawful protests, if you want to leave under your own terms, now is the time to do it. I'm available to take questions. Thank you.
I now invite each media to come to the microphone and ask your question. Please, when you start your question, start with your name and the media you represent. Nous allons maintenant commencer avec les questions. On demande chacun de se prendre le microphone, de vous identifier et d'identifier le média que vous représentez. Merci.
Hello, Chief Natalie Van Roy from CTV Ottawa. Are Ottawa Police asking businesses near the red zone to stay closed for an extended period of time?
So as I indicated, thank you very much for the question. As I indicated, we've developed this secure area where people who live, work, or have lawful reasons to be there are free to come and go. We're just restricting the area from people who have come in over the past number of weeks, particularly on the weekends, as we're getting towards, to be engaged in unlawful activity. We have several officers in the area, both on foot and in vehicles, to ensure the safety and security of the neighborhoods and the areas that surround where the protest footprint is.
What measures are being considered if protesters do not comply if they do not leave that secure area?
So we've been really clear with everyone since the very beginning. It's time to go. Your time in our city has come to an end and you must leave. We've engaged in interactions with the protesters to attempt to persuade, negotiate with them to leave the footprint of our area. We will continue to do that. But what I can tell you is we have a deliberate plan of action to take in order to make sure that our streets are turned back to our residents and our community is turned back to normal.
Hi, Elizabeth Laplante. I'm from TVA News in Montreal. When are you planning to intervene for the kids in the protest?
So thanks for the question. One of the key concerns that we've had as we've planned and looked at how we want to proceed to end this protest is the number of children that remain in there. We continue to work with our partners from the Children's Aid Society and other social services to look at the best, most safest way to have children removed from the area prior to any sort of police action. We've had members of our police service continue to engage with the protesters to identify that it is not a good place for children to be, that they should make every attempt to remove children from the area. All of our planning has been very considerate of the people that are within the demonstration zone, including the children.
Will they be the first to be removed?
As I indicated, we've worked really hard to make sure all of our plans are very deliberate around protecting children that may be in that footprint.
Mr. Bell, Mackenzie Gray with CTV National News. To be frank, it's been 21 days now, and the residents of this city have been pretty clear that the police in the city have completely bungled dealing with this protest. It's not the first time we've had a press conference here from the police saying there's a new plan to deal with it. So why should any of the residents of the city believe that this time is going to be different?
So thank you for the question. I think you just need to go outside and look at the presence we have right now. We're taking unprecedented steps through support of both federal, provincial legislation, municipal increase in fines for bylaws, as well as injunctions to bring all that together to work with our partners from the OPP and RCMP to amass a plan and amass the resources we need to actually execute that plan. As you're seeing in the occurrence that's happened, the activity that's happened with police over the last day and a half or so, you're seeing a much increased presence of officers. That is to indicate that we are at the end of this protest. We will take what action we need to deliberately, safely, lawfully end these demonstrations.
I'm happy you mentioned going outside, because if you walk down Wellington Street right now, there are two guys in a hot tub, and there's a bouncy castle across from them. Can you assure the residents of this city that this will no longer happen, and that the parties that have happened on Wellington Street for the last 3 weekends will end this week?
That's what we're here to say today. We absolutely are committed to end this unlawful demonstration. We have the plan, we have the commitment, we have the resources, and we have the amazing partnership of all policing partners to make sure that this unlawful demonstration comes to an end.
Chief Bell, thanks for taking our questions. You're talking about setting up checkpoints, making sure people have a lawful reason to be going downtown. How are these going to work? I've been seeing some reports that people are just asking, oh, why are you going down? Okay, go ahead. So what's going to be stopping protesters from just lying and saying they work downtown or they live downtown?
So as we indicated, we have over 100 checkpoints in this secure area that we've established. Officers are continuing to be informed of the lawful reasons how they can stop and challenge people, and then looking to ensure that people are entering the area who live there, who work there, or who have a lawful reason, such as a medical appointment, to attend there. Our officers have that information and are intervening on people who are not supposed to be there, stopping them, and allowing people that should be there their lawful right to move around in those areas.
Yeah, and just on the difficulty of dealing with children in the protest, my colleagues have been speaking to some people out there right now who have kids. They're saying it's a completely safe place, they don't plan on leaving anytime soon, and encouraging other families to bring their kids out there. Just how did the police navigate the situation with Children's Aid if people aren't going to be leaving? Do the police plan on coming in and separating families?
So as I indicated earlier, we continue to work with the Children's Aid Society and our planners to make sure that the safety of any children or youth that are in that area, in the footprint of the demonstration, is utmost in our priority as we look to dismantle this demonstration.
Chief Bell, John Willing with The Citizen. Do you have a goal in terms of how many trucks you want to remove from the core daily or even by the end of this long weekend?
So we won't be establishing any goals or targets. What I can tell you is we are continuing to dialogue, discuss with protesters in there, identifying that it is time for them to go, that this is coming to an end, and that we will continue to increase our actions until ultimately everyone is gone from that area. That area is returned to the citizens of Ottawa, and we have normalcy in the downtown core.
Thank you. Have you secured heavy tow availability for the next few days?
We continue to work on our plans. We've developed all those plans, and we aren't seeing any issues with the ability to remove vehicles at this point.
Hi, Chief Bell. It's Joanne Canello from CBC News. A little bit on that same theme. You said earlier it's going to be methodical, it's going to take time. Can you give us a sense of how much time you think it will take? And, we're on to weekend number 4. Are you expecting more, the demonstrator reinforcements, as you say, to come back? Like, what do you see happening over the next little while?
So thank you for the question. What I can tell you is the deliberate steps we've taken to create the secure zone under the powers that have been granted to us under the Federal Emergencies Act are directly aligned to make sure that we don't see the numbers in the demonstration bolstered over the weekend. We have a very deliberate plan that will be methodical and will take time for us to progress through to be able to completely remove anyone from the core. So what I can tell you is this weekend will look very different than the past 3 weekends.
And for people who have kids who are coming to school here, there's a high school nearby, there's a public school, maybe offices, are you asking people not to come tomorrow? There's concerns from parents, as you can imagine.
So I can absolutely understand that. There's concerns from all pockets of our community about what's going on. We continue to work with institutions like the school boards to identify any sort of concerns that may exist within the footprint, and we'll continue to provide public safety or through media advisories to all of our community to let them know what's happening, how we progress, and if we have any immediate or emerging safety concerns that people need to know about.
Hi, Chief Bell. Laura Osmond, the Canadian Press. I'm just wondering how critical the Emergencies Act powers that have been granted to you by the federal government are in terms of your plan. Is this something you would have been able to do without that legislation invoked?
So thanks, it's a great question. What I can tell you is we've seen a growing frustration within our community, within the provincial government, within the federal government, around the activities that are occurring here. We've also seen the growth in our authorities and ability to actually successfully deal with the demonstration, an unprecedented unlawful demonstration like we're seeing downtown in our core. All of those pieces of legislation and supports we've got from different levels of government have directly and actively contributed to our ability to ultimately say we are in a position to move forward and look to end this demonstration.
Of course, downtown is not the only place that these trucks have been amassing. There are encampments all over the city. More were popping up last weekend. You had to shut down. What assurances can you give people that as you direct people away from the downtown core over the long weekend, as people are trying to flood into Ottawa, that it's not going to end up in their communities?
So I would understand the concern about that, absolutely. What I can tell you is we've had great partnership through the OPP, the RCMP, other municipal police agencies to make sure that we have amassed the number of members, officers, support functions in and around the Ottawa area to be able to make sure that we not only demobilize the demonstration that exists, but that we look at protecting ourselves against just displacing it. Our goal is to take our streets back. Our goal is to actually give the streets of Ottawa back to the community that own it and deserve it. We will continue to do that while trying to ensuring that this doesn't actually just displace to somewhere else.
Hi, Chief Bell. Frederick with Radio-Canada. So you mentioned just earlier before that you're still negotiating or speaking with people that own the heavy vehicles over there. So are you still at that point where you're trying to get them to leave on their own, or you're past that point and you know that you're going to have to intervene with force?
So we'll never be past that point. I implore anyone that's there, get in your truck. We will navigate safe passage for you to leave our city streets. We want this to end, this demonstration to end peacefully. We want people to realize that it is coming to an end and not require us to escalate in terms of how we look to deal with demobilizing it. We will never stop trying to get people to leave our streets. That's exactly what we want them to do. Just know that there's a deliberate plan, there's commitment, and there's the resourcing that we now have in place to actually finally end this. But it can be ended by all the demonstrators that sit there by getting in their vehicles and going home.
Are you negotiating or in talks at all with people that are, or say that they are at the head of this convoy, organizers per se? Are you negotiating with them at all?
So as I indicated, we continue to negotiate with individuals and with people that represent different pockets within the demonstration group. It is our desire, it is in everyone's best interest, it is absolutely what we want to do, is to have this end peacefully. We want people to go home. We will talk to anyone who we need to talk to for them to go home. But the demonstrators there need to know we have commitment, we have a plan, this needs to end.
And you don't think that there's going to be a fourth weekend of big parties and celebration just like we've seen last weekend?
I can't place any timelines on when it will ultimately culminate. I can tell you it will be a very different picture in the downtown core this weekend than it has been from the previous 3 weekends.
Hi, sir. Charles Gagnon with Le Droit newspaper. Again, talking this morning with truckers inside their truck, they're not coming out, they're not leaving. So how will you enforce whatever you need to enforce? Are you going to take them out of their trucks? How is that going to happen?
So I'm not in a position to be able to give up any of the operational issues that we've discussed. What I can tell you is we've taken into consideration many different circumstances that could exist within the footprint of the demonstration and in and around it, and we're actually planning for several different eventualities. I'll say it again, we want people to peacefully leave. But I can tell you that if they do not peacefully leave, we have plans, strategies, and tactics to be able to get them to leave.
And obviously, I don't know when you guys are going to go in or whatever, but there's still lots of people just walking on Wellington Street and all that are supporting. So what, and they're probably going to continue. What are you saying to these people if they don't want to leave either?
So our message has been pretty consistent around that. And more importantly, the message from our community and our residents has been pretty consistent around that. Do not come to our downtown core. We are tired of what's occurring there. We're sick of what's happening in our streets, so leave our area. We will continue with that message this weekend, but you're seeing an increased enforcement presence, and we won't be allowing people to come down for the unlawful activity of engaging in demonstrations.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. This concludes our media availability today. So, on a conclut le point de presse aujourd'hui. Merci beaucoup.
Okay, people, I told you, they're coming after them, and they won't stop. And it's very interesting that they're mentioning the War Act, and when we all know that it's not even inactive yet. So this is very interesting. I told you there was a lot of fuckers. Is Pat is live again? Hold on. Enough things to do here. I just got a delivery. I had to go get my package. Hold on a second. Pat is live again. Hold on. No, he was live this morning. He's not live now. Is he live again? Yeah.
Well, I have been through the media styles. We're that lost voice that nobody wants to listen to anymore.
Okay, well, speaking of voices, I've also listened, not
Thank you,
very
Senator.
prolific, so it would be impossible for me to catch up. But I've listened to enough of the things you've posted, and you have posted some really troublesome things. You have posted things that are racist. You have posted things that appear to condone violence. This is troublesome. You know, if you want to understand why the government and many people in this country are worried about people like you, it's because of the kinds of things you say.
Okay. Can I answer those things that I'm about to, that you're accusing me of?
Yeah.
All right. So first of all, racist is nothing. There's never been a racist derogatory comment out of my mouth. When you see, wait, when you see the videos, when you see the I deal with the court of public opinion, and when you're paying somebody to not talk about a sexual assault that happened, and you're feeding them millions of dollars of money, and we want the proof to come out. We've always asked, we want to be wrong in this. We don't want to be right. That's the bad part about this is we really respectfully want to be wrong in everything that we're standing for.
If you were proven wrong, would you take the vaccine?
If I was proven wrong, I would never take the vaccine, no.
But that wouldn't change your mind.
It wouldn't change my mind because I've already had COVID and I've been around hundreds of thousands of people and I've not even caught a sniffle. Because when I had it, I built up an immune system. My immune system went to work. And that's something that people are losing touch with is our immune systems have been around through centuries, since the dawn of time. If you ate a bad mushroom and you got food poisoning, well, then your body built up some kind of resistance against it for the next time. That's how we evolved. And believe it or not, it's kind of like the survival of the fittest, not being derogatory, but it's how we got to where we are as a society. You know, people get sick.
Neither of us are doctors. I don't think we're going to solve.
No, I'm never claimed to be.
Nor have I. But I do want to talk to you about your role in the protests that are happening now. You're one of the organizers. And you also said this thing is going to end in violence. The only solution is violence.
Nope.
And
Ukraine, and you look at where we live in the free world. Here we are here in Canada. We have the best healthcare. Now we want to talk to politicians. Now we want to, get the negotiations with the mayor of Ottawa. I don't play negotiations. I don't play politics. I stand for the people, and I'm here to support and be morale, make things work, get people to where they need to be, make sure people have their necessities to make sure that they can sit here with us.
okay, but my point is that you are influential within this community. I know I've seen you out there. I've seen videos of it. People listen to you, right? I mean, you walk down the street and people know who you are.
They do. I'm not in this for a popularity contest. I never have been. I'm in this to make sure that my people and our people and Canadian citizens and people around the world have a voice again. We're that lost voice that nobody wants to listen to anymore.
Okay, well, speaking of voices, I've also listened, not to everything you've posted, because you're very prolific, so it would be impossible for me to catch up, but I've listened to enough of the things you've posted, and you have posted some really troublesome things. You have posted things that are racist, you have posted things that appear to condone violence. This is troublesome. If you want to understand why the government and many people in this country are worried about people like you, it's because of the kinds of things you say.
Okay. Can I answer those things that I'm about to, that you're accusing me of?
Yeah.
All right. So first of all, racist is nothing. There's never been a racist derogatory comment out of my mouth. When you see the videos that you're watching are clip videos that have been clipped out and made into a video to be something it's not. And if you really want to do the research, you look into Anti-Hate Canada and the $45 million liberal buffer that was given to them.
You have talked about a plot to depopulate the Anglo-Saxon race.
No.
You says, I've seen your video.
Yeah.
I've heard your words.
That video was talking about how the population of the Anglo-Saxon race is being diminished. That's what I said. Just because of the wording and the doesn't
say that they want to diminish.
All right, well, while that's doing this, I just lost connection. I don't know why. Just give me a second. I'm going to keep going here.
Canada, we have the
Here we
best
go. It's
healthcare
back.
systems. We have the best places to go and get medical treatment if needed, the best vitamins, all of that. We've gotten our medicines here that are
Just
10
to
times.
remind you that many Canadians in Canada are not Anglo.
Absolutely, they're not. And nobody said anything about them.
You
That's what I said. Okay, first and foremost, you're baiting me and I get it. What I said was that there is a population that is being picked on, and it happens to be that population. I never made a racist comment towards any other ethnicity, any other race, anybody else.
You think Anglo-Saxons are being picked on?
I believe that the whole world is being picked on.
I mean, you said it in the context of Anglo-Saxons.
I believe everybody is being picked on.
You talked about a conspiracy to depopulate.
It is a depopulation. The whole vaccine that they're getting is for everybody now. It's everybody's getting it.
And you think the vaccine is part of an effort to depopulate?
It is. Do your research.
Who's behind this conspiracy to depopulate?
I wish I could tell you, because if I did, I'd go knock on the door and ask them why.
You've also promoted violence. You've also said this thing is going to end in violence. The only solution is violence.
Nope.
And you haven't said that?
No. What you see is another added clip. Do you want to wait until it takes that? Till that action is taken? Are you willing to sit here and get to that point? Or do you want to stop it before it starts?
You have said about Mr. Trudeau, somebody's going to make you catch a bullet.
Holy, in a heat, there's been a lot more worse said about Justin Trudeau.
I'm not worried about that. You
at
said
that moment.
Somebody's going to make you catch a bullet.
Somebody is going to make you catch a bullet, yes, for what you're doing to the people.
Well, you don't see that that's promoting violence?
That's not promoting violence. That's my opinion, which I'm free to have. I have freedom of opinion and I have freedom of speech, and that's what I said. And all I said was in a heated moment where I was denied my flight after being put on the flight and told I had 72-hour window of being allowed on that flight without being vaccinated. And they jammed me when I got to the airport and they said, no, you're not allowed on now. 70.
So your solution was to say, Mr. Trudeau, somebody's gonna make you catch a bullet, and for the rest of the government, somebody's gonna do you in.
No, somebody's going to have to make right by their maker at some point. Yes, because at some point we're all going to meet God at some point, and we're going to have to stand at the pearly gates and make and express why we should be allowed in. And when those comments come, those are when they need to be made. When we go and look at what we're doing, there's people that have said way worse than what I've said.
I don't care what other people
I know.
said.
I know. So I'm saying, what I'm saying though is not the leader. I am not the leader.
You just told me you're one of the leaders.
I never said I'm one of the leaders. We said organizers.
Okay, you're one of the organizers. People look up to you.
Organizers.
And you're talking about people catching bullets and doing people in. Do you not see how that can be seen as inflammatory?
The day of political correctness is gone. Political correctness is why we're in this problem right now. If I don't have the freedom to say what I feel on my head and the top of my head in a heated moment at some point, and I'm going to be ridiculed and raked over the coals in the media because of something I said, not everybody's going to like me, and that's fine with me. And I'm okay with that. What it is the truth. And sometimes the truth hurts. And unfortunately it does. People can't handle the truth anymore. Everybody wants to walk around with their eyes like this. Nothing to see, nothing to see. Well, it's time we take those blinders off.
Is, in your mind, is the truth that somebody should be targeting the Prime Minister of this country and threatening him with violence?
Nobody's threatening the Prime Minister.
People have threatened the Prime Minister.
That's them people, not myself. You can say what you want, but that's verbiage.
Someday you're gonna catch a bullet. Somebody's gonna make you catch a bullet.
For doing the mandates and denying people accessibility and mobility, there's going to be that one purpose, that one person that is not all there upstairs and is going to have an episode which is called a mental breakdown. And that has happened. We've seen people who've had mental breakdowns and the repercussions when they act on them. And that could be. Okay, so me saying that, no, that's not giving permission to anybody. Come on, let's be real.
You are an organizer. People look up to you. You're talking. You say this stuff.
You don't
think that somehow influences the people who look up to you?
Not at all. People have that freedom of will, it's called. And you cannot manipulate free will. And those people can do whatever they want. Nothing I say is going to direct them to do that. Everybody knows that they can make up their own mind. That's what makes us individuals.
You called for Justin Trudeau's arrest?
Yes.
On what grounds?
on the grounds of sexual assault against a 15-year-old at the West Point Academy in Vancouver.
Whoa, hang on. You're accusing him of sexual assault?
I'm not accusing him. He's already been convicted of it.
Justin Trudeau's been convicted of sexually assaulting a 15-year-old?
That's correct. Yeah.
What is your evidence for that?
The evidence is the non-disclosure agreement that was paid to the daughter of that, or the victim, and right before the last election, she was paid another $2.5 million for that.
Hang on, a conviction has nothing to do with a non-disclosure agreement. If you're convicted, you're convicted in the court of law. That's a
All right.
crime.
Well, I deal with the court of public opinion, and when you're paying somebody to not talk about a sexual assault that happened, and you're feeding them millions of dollars of money, you're guilty.
How do you know this? What's your evidence for this?
The evidence is called the non-disclosure agreement that was given. I've seen the non-disclosure. Yes, I have.
Where is it? Why don't you produce it?
It's sitting at home, waiting for the day that when he gets arrested, that we can bring it up forth and make sure that it's public. Many politicians have already tried to bring it up, but they get shut down. So I'm not the only one with this evidence. There are many people out there with that evidence. That's not the only one. The SNC Lavalin scandal. Let's go with the We scandal. And I don't know, maybe look into the Switch Corporation. That's the other one. Feel free to check out Switch and all the people that are involved with the money transfer between different shell corporations and others. Brian Mulrooney's involved, all of them.
All right. I want to talk about what's happening on the streets out there now. You have been part of an organization that has brought us to a point in this country that we haven't been in for a generation. We now have, the government has felt it has needed to invoke emergency laws that they've never used before. And you are telling your people, in light of all of the laws that have been passed and all the warnings that have been made, and police forces starting to accumulate in this city, prepared to enforce the law, you are telling your people to stand strong.
That's right, because the Emergency Act is not invoked. It still has many levels to pass through the Parliament. If they start to act on those measures, they're acting unlawfully. They're acting illegally.
You've made your point. Why don't you just tell your people to go home?
We haven't made our point. Lift the mandates. Let us be able to travel freely. Let the loved ones that are trapped in other countries come home. Let the children run and play in the playgrounds.
Do you really think the government's going to negotiate with a gun to its head that way?
There's no gun to nobody's head. We're doing this politically, we're doing this professionally, and we're doing this while exercising our freedom of peaceful assembly and our freedom to protest. And we are exercising those rights. This isn't the first time I've brought a convoy to Ottawa.
I know that.
That's right. And the last time it was done, and we were quite successful. This one's just taking a little bit longer.
Well, the last time you didn't get the end of the carbon tax, which is one of the reasons you came here.
We got our pipelines back.
You came and you made your point and you left.
And we got our pipelines back.
And I think that's what people expected this time. But now you're saying you're not going to.
Well, you see, that's the part of it. We knew we were getting the pipelines back, so we left. Tell us we get our mandates lifted, permanently erased and gone, and people can move freely. And my kid can go to his graduation and he can celebrate his graduation, and I can pay for that trip for him to go celebrate his graduation. I can send him to wherever he wants. My son wants to go to Japan for aerospace engineering. He's actually eligible for one of the highest levels of aerospace engineering, but he can't.
Why?
Because, well, he can now, because you guys, the media and everybody else has feared him into getting the vaccine.
Your son did get
Yeah,
vaccinated.
both my children behind my back. My ex-wife went behind my back and jabbed both my kids.
You're not pleased with that, obviously.
There's nothing I can do now. I still love them. You know, it is what it is. I still love them. I still care for them. Whether, even if you're vaxxed, I still love you. I still care for you. You know, this was never about jabbed or unjabbed. What it is about is informed consent, understanding everything that's happening to us. And looking at the level playing field right now, it's not level. It's tilted to one side. Well, we need to bring it back to an even keel.
Do you have any, do you understand the argument that people say that, look, freedom is only half the equation here. With freedom comes responsibility.
That's
And when we are in a pandemic and people are dying, 35,000 people in this country have died.
More have died from suicide.
35,000 people.
What about the
have died
missing
from
children?
COVID. Well, are you suggesting that we shouldn't care about the 35,000?
Sure looks like nobody cares.
I think people do care tremendously, which is why.
For the last 2 years, all we've been focused on is COVID.
Well,
Numbers,
because we're
cases,
trying
numbers,
to,
cases.
They're trying to prevent more people from dying from COVID.
By flashing it on the screen 24 hours a day?
Can I just come back to my question?
Yes, ma'am.
The point is that with freedom comes responsibility, and we all have a responsibility to the collective community to keep each other safe. And people who choose to get vaccinated are
Then do it.
Why don't you see that as your responsibility?
Because my responsibility is to live my life freely and without any interruptions. That's my
You
responsibility.
put other people.
But how can I, do you know how it's true? Because I think it was 2 years ago, the media told us we should be doing it, and I'm still here. The media said that people were dropping like flies and people were dying all over. And if you don't get this thing, then you're not going to be surviving. I've been in crowds of hundreds of thousands of people. I've been standing up, fighting for what I think is right. And all this time, I got COVID once, which I believe is COVID. I never got tested to find out if it was, but it was gnarly, absolutely. And I haven't even had a sniffle since. Remember, 2020, I believe it was 2020, that was the year CBC reported that there's 0 flu cases. What happened to that? No flu. Pretty interesting. Now they want to go with the flu. They want to go with the flu shots again. But I thought we eradicated. That was the best year in humanity.
I want to bring us back again to this.
Okay.
So you said that nobody should go home.
No.
Nobody should go home. So when the police make their move, and they will make their move, that is totally clear. What are you telling your people out there?
Stand your ground.
Which means what?
Hold your arms together. Sit on the ground. Everybody turn their backs on the men and women who are supposed to be out there to get our civil liberties and protect them.
Resist arrest.
That's not resisting arrest when you're down on the ground and not fighting back. That's not resisting arrest. That's involuntarily agreeing to your offer to contract.
So people will be arrested. You accept that?
Sure. Go ahead and arrest us.
Will people get back? Is there a potential for violence?
No, none.
How do you know?
Have you seen any violence yet?
Well, I've seen guns seized in Coutts, Alberta.
Oh, the guns that you saw that were planted? Yeah. Because all our men and women in Alberta are sitting there, and they saw it. And we've got video of it. They saw the planted weapons that were there and the man getting arrested, and then he got let go. There was never an arrest even made.
So you claim that you have video that shows weapons, those weapons in particular, being planted.
No, we have the arrest that was made, and then the gentleman speaking out afterwards to tell you that he wasn't charged with anything and he was let go.
Well, they've charged, what, 10 people, 11 people, or they have charged people with possession of those weapons and with conspiracy to murder.
Oh, well, that's reaching out, but remember, you're innocent until proven guilty. That's what the justice system. Okay, well, let's focus on that part. Okay, we're farmers, we're ranchers, we're hunters, we're fishermen. We have ranches all around there. We have farmers down there. Those are part of the tools of farming. If a horse is dying or down in the field or a cow's got fever, you have to have that ready at the ready.
I have no doubt about that.
Okay,
What are they doing at a protest?
And licensed as well.
What are they doing at a protest? That's the question.
They were put there.
By?
Those nice little guys that wear the same clothes we do and walk by and put it in where they need it. Well, we've got lots of footage of them just here in Ottawa alone, but there's undercover police officers, undercover agents that are going around and following us everywhere we go, seeing what everything we do. I understand that this world that we live in is not as honest as some people would like to think it is, and that the powers that be aren't very honest people. When you look at it, you always know this every time. How do you know a politician is lying? His lips are moving. And it's the truth. There are some good politicians, but a majority of them outweigh the nice ones. And we've seen it.
Do you know other weapons?
There's 0 weapons here to my knowledge.
You know.
Yep. We don't.
And would you know if there was weapons?
No.
So we don't know if there's weapons. There could be.
Well, I'm pretty sure the last 2 weeks of the biggest tailgate party you've ever seen in Canadian history proves that there's no weapons here.
Why is that prevented?
We've been parked in front of the council, Privy Council and the Prime Minister's office for 2.5 weeks. We've been parked in front of the House of Commons. We've been parked in front of the Superior Court Justice. We've been parked across the National Defense, and we've been parked in front of the RCMP stations. And everybody's still got their windows, and nobody's been hurt, and everybody's been safe and good and calm and peaceful and loving. We have little children playing in bouncy castles, and the media's calling them terrorists.
Why do you have children here? Why do you permit children to be here?
Why wouldn't, George, why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I want to promote children?
Especially now, you're putting them in a dangerous situation.
No, police will be putting them in a dangerous position. These kids are here to play in bouncy castles and watch history be made.
Well, what they're going to see is the police force is going in to enact the law.
What law?
Well, the law of the land that has been passed by
The law of the land.
Yes.
Oh, we have law of the land here? If that's the case, then this federal government doesn't belong here. That's admiral law. Why are they here? If this is law of the land, then you've got an admiral law system that's sitting up there then.
I'm sorry, what are you talking about?
There's two different laws that some people are governed under, and that's law of the land.
I'm telling you, we have a constitution in this country.
That's never been ratified.
And we have a parliament that enacts laws, and the parliament has enacted laws that you are now in violation of, and the police
They've never enacted it.
are now being asked to move and to enforce the
No,
laws.
we still have the permissions to be able to be here and exercise our freedom of peaceful assembly and our freedom of protest throughout all of their emergency acts that even states in there to be here to we can protest against any in violation of our constitutional rights. We have that right, and it's in the Emergency Act
They
to
have
do that.
declared the blockades and the blockade of parliament as illegal.
There are no blockades. Every
Well,
street,
there were blockades at absolutely.
every street we put down as an emergency road. There's emergency entrance, there's emergency egress in and out. That was agreed upon by the Ottawa Provincial or the Ottawa Police Services and the OPP services. We worked side by side with the law enforcement to put these trucks in place. It's the police that put us where we're at, not us. The police delegated where we put these trucks. Believe me,
Police are on your side.
I was there with them the whole time. I conversed with them every hour for 57 hours while we traveled across the country.
Do you think that when those police officers are given the orders to move in and remove the people on the street and the rigs that are there, that they will follow those orders?
I would hope that they follow the letter of the law. I would
I'm not
hope.
asking about that. Will they follow the orders they're given?
I believe that the policemen that are out there, then they see it when they get that order. If they have a conscience and they know the law and they actually know that these are illegal acts that they're performing, illegal orders, I believe they will use their conscience and their peace of mind and their respectability and their responsibility to uphold the law and not follow illegal orders. This has not been signed on the line. It's never been approved in the House of Commons yet. Nothing. So they can't move. If they do, they're acting outside the law, which makes them lawless.
The government has the authority to invoke this. They have to get parliamentary approval within a certain period of time.
That's correct.
But they have the authority to invoke this and make it happen.
So invoke it all you want, but it has to pass levels of parliament. You want to talk about a governing system? You want to talk about democracy? This is what our men and women of our Canadian Armed Forces who've lost their lives to fight for those rights and freedoms, for that electoral process to be allowed. That is exactly what we are doing right now, and that is exactly what needs to happen before anybody acts unlawfully. Remember, Justin Trudeau's got a minority government. He's got a lot of opposition out there.
You've got a lot of opposition out there. You've got
Absolutely.
an entire city that's now against
I got a whole room in here that's against me.
you. I'm the messenger here, buddy.
I got big shoulders, you know what? And it's
Messenger.
not an entire city. What you're seeing is a few voices that are very, let's say, influential within the city. I can make it sound a little bit louder than it really is. We just had a gentleman from Ottawa come down and ask to pray for us because he says this is something that has been needed in Ottawa for generations, because the amount of corruption that's here in this city alone. The city of Ottawa is actually pleased. Have you gone downtown and looked at the homeless people and the homeless state in Ottawa? This is the pride and joy of Canada. Man, I'd hate to be a tourist on a tour run looking at that and seeing that. That's horrible. What if we had the opportunity to fix it? And we can. You look at us, what we've done already so far. In 2 years of us being locked up and not being able to go to families' houses and celebrate and go to weddings and watch our loved ones die and our funerals. In 3 weeks, we've been able to encourage the whole world to show their love and compassion for everybody.
You think that that's what's happening? You think the whole world's encouraged by what you've done here?
It goes to show. Have you been paying attention to what's going on around the world?
I've been paying attention.
Pretty amazing. All by the power of love. All by using our hearts and our minds instead of our brawn and our bullets, like you like to say.
Like I like to say.
Well, you tried to say that I
Well, those were your words, not mine.
they're my words in a heated rage, in a heated moment, in a heated point in time where I wasn't able to get
You
home.
put them out for the world to
Yeah,
consume.
so what? People put stuff out there all the time. You know, people have said a lot worse things. Man, people hit John Chrétien in the face with a pie. Come on.
It's a bit different than bullets.
Well, it's still hitting an elected official. It's assault.
You really see these things as comparable?
I do, because when I say it, it's like throwing a pie. It's called me in kind of being sarcastic at the same time as being blunt to the point and telling the truth. There are not very many, there are people in this world that are unstable. And if you push them hard enough, you can risk causing them people to have an episode. I deal with mental health illnesses all the time. And if I wasn't in the right frame of mind that day that they caught me on the airplane, right, and they kicked me off, if I was somebody else that was in an incapacitated state or in some kind of heated moment, it could have ended differently. And that's what I said. Stop doing what you're doing, because this could excel into something worse. So if you had the opportunity before it happened, would you take it? Well, us and the truckers, we did. We took it. We took that opportunity. And you cannot deny the support behind us. To call us a fringe minority group, to call us misogynists and racist, come on.
I've seen your words, Mr. Kane. I mean,
My words are my words, not the millions of other Canadians that stand in behind and support
but
it.
you represent this group in many ways.
I
You're
represent
organized.
myself.
Okay. All right. You represent yourself, but
Yeah.
those are your words. You'll accept that.
Those are my words, yeah.
But, so for somebody to say they're your words.
That's right. Somebody's saying I'm misogynist and I'm racist, find me the proof. Find me the proof.
The words are usually the proof.
Keep digging, but find the proof. Show me the proof. That's
Getting
all.
off topic again.
Okay.
I just want to finish up here. So
I just want you to accuse me of it.
I'm just asking you about your words.
Okay.
Your words.
Okay.
Everybody can understand what those words mean.
Words are words. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me.
All right. So speaking of sticks and stones, then, how long? I mean, and this is a serious.
I know
this is
it's
a serious question.
it's funny where you're going with it.
It's not funny. This is serious. This is a serious question.
Sure.
How long is this going to last? You said that you're not going to leave until you're not going to, the government is not going to capitulate and do what you want, especially negotiating this way. So how long are you prepared to do it?
How long? I don't know. Ask Justin Trudeau how long. Ask Justin how long this is going to last, because it's him that's keeping us here. It's him who brought us
Well,
here.
he's the one that's just passed the emergency orders that he says is going to clear this. So I would think his answer would be not much longer.
Well, if he says it's not much longer, I guess then it's not much longer.
And if that's what happens, if you're arrested, are you prepared to be arrested?
Absolutely.
Except you're leaving, so you're not prepared to be arrested.
Am I leaving?
You said so.
I don't know.
You put it on your own Facebook.
Maybe I'm leaving to go cover a story like an investigative journalist does.
Well,
Because
we can debate what an
but-
investigative journalist
because
does,
I know.
but you're not going to be here if shit hits the fan.
Because I know. Well, that's definitely getting dubbed out. Because I know they can't enact on that this weekend. It hasn't been passed in the House of Commons. It hasn't been allowed by the Senate.
Okay, I don't
It's not going to be acted on, because I've talked to the Ottawa Police Services. I've talked to the head of control, head of SWAT, head of the guys, the head of the RCMP, the OPP. I've talked to them, and they all say they got our backs.
You've talked to the head of the OPP,
I have, Jason Finley, yeah.
and he's told you he's got your back.
No, he told us he will not act in Ottawa city limits. They can't. They don't have
These
jurisdiction.
emergency powers give them precisely that
Well,
jurisdiction to do that.
There's a lot of them on our side. You got to remember that. There's a lot of men and women on the police force, in emergency force, or EMRs, doctors, nurses. There's a lot of people with influential power that are on our side. And I think that's the problem the Liberals are scared of. They're scared that there's a lot more on our side than there are on theirs. And that's why they're acting like they are. Nobody here has done any harm to anybody. Nobody has done anything illegal. We've done everything by the confines of the law.
People have been arrested, tickets have been given. I mean,
Who's been arrested?
according to the Ottawa police.
According to,
Well,
they've been
you just said they're on your side,
they
so
were-
you don't trust their figures?
they were detained and released with no paperwork and no charges. It was all a show. It was all for photo ops.
No, not a single person that you're aware of has been charged.
That's
Is that
right.
what you're saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying. And the tickets, they're just tickets. People parked in the wrong spot, so they got a ticket.
Well, the tickets are still enforced.
I was also given a summons for an injunction for honking horns.
Yes.
And guess what? They never got me for an injunction on honking horns. They haven't followed through.
You think you've won, don't you?
We know we've won. We're just waiting for them to just write it out. We have one. Look at it around the world. And it's not a matter of winning. It's a matter of coming to terms with the fact that people just want to live their lives. Can we please just live our lives?
No, everybody wants to live their lives. Everybody's frustrated with this. It's a question of what do we do to protect each other?
Well, it's not my,
Do you have any responsibility to protect other people?
it's not my job to protect other people.
Well, it
It's
is.
my job to look out,
as a citizen.
look
to be
after the
responsible.
safety and well-being of my family and my person. If that includes the rest of the people that are out there that don't want to do this, then I'm going to protect them as well. And if people who want to get the job want to protect them and protect them, their people around them, they're welcome to do that. I never said don't do it. We're not saying don't do it. Go ahead. But a lot of us right now, the science isn't adding up and we're questioning it. How else do we become a democracy? By questioning things. Some people have differences of opinions. We're allowed to have that, but we're not allowed to now. Now we're being treated as second-class citizens, segregated, isolated, being told that we can't exercise our right to go eat in a restaurant. We can't go to a hospital. We can't get fair treatment. We can't use judicial systems because we're not jabbed. That's segregation. And I believe there's a woman by the name of Rosa Parks who speaks very highly on that. And there's many occasions out there.
Not denied medical treatment because you haven't.
Your treatment, quality of treatment is definitely hindered.
You are not denied access to courts because you haven't been charged.
Yes, you have. I have in particular, 100%. Because when I went in to go and find a court case of which that I'm 50% in legal custody of my children and medical custody of my children and make medical decisions of my children, and I go in to speak to a lawyer, my lawyer tells me that the bar has already stated that if I fight these mandates and the inoculations of my kids, that I will be deemed an unfit father, I'll be stripped of my parental rights, and it's already happened in court already when a father tried to stand up for his children, and I will be deemed an unfit parent. And I'm one of the most loving parents you'll find out there, and I'm one of the most loving fathers out there. And the fact that I can't protect my children now from a decision that was made by a government, that's wrong.
I just want to be really clear on this before we, what is it that has to happen for you, Pat King, to go out into those streets and to say to all those people in those rigs and all those protesters who look up to you and to believe in you, to say, guys, it's time to go home? What's it going to take?
The day that I hold the paper that Justin Trudeau signs and the Liberal Party signs and says the mandates are over, we will no longer enforce them. That's the day.
And if Justin Trudeau remains the Prime Minister of this country?
Who cares?
People, well, I mean, who cares?
I don't
People
care.
have called for his overthrow.
I didn't vote for him. I don't care. If they wanted, if he writes,
People in this movement have said that they're here to change the government, not just to get rid of men.
no, people have said lots of things. I'm not responsible for what comes out of other people's
I'm
mouths.
asking you.
I'm not
You're
responsible.
not here to change the government.
I don't care about the government. I never have and never will. I care about my freedom. And that's what this is about. It always has been.
Scott, I'm just going to ask you something that we've forgotten here.
Patrick, can you said you were negotiating with police on the route? Did they help you guys get into the city?
Yeah.
Correct me, can you just
Yeah.
explain
Yeah. Yeah. So right away before we
First of all, you came from the what?
I came from Red Deer, Alberta, yes. Actually, We started in Red Deer that morning. We went down to Calgary. We picked up the rest of the group that came from Vancouver. So before we left, I get into contact with Andrew. Andrew Wiersbicky is the one officer. We spoke with Natasha Bach, a couple other ones that were in charge of traffic logistics, and it was them who put us to where we. And I did this the last time too. Jason Finley as well. These are Ottawa Police Services and OPP as well.
So you were talking to Ottawa Police even before you left Alberta?
Before we left Alberta, yeah.
And what were you saying?
We were promised that we'd get Wellington Street, Elgin Street, we'd get Kent, we'd get the same streets that we had last time. We could have Metcalf, and we were supposed to come up the Sir John A. Macdonald Parkway because it would have been a good place that wasn't too busy, and we would be able to get right up to Wellington Street on there.
And was there a time frame put on that?
Yeah, the day that we arrived on January 29th.
And how long did you tell them that you were staying for?
We told them we were staying here indefinitely. They knew what we were doing the whole time.
You told the Ottawa, this is important. So very clearly you told the people that you were talking to, we're coming and we don't know when we're leaving.
That's right.
We're not going to leave until Justin Trudeau lifts the mandate.
Absolutely.
So that was clear to them.
That was clear as it is, as bright with these lights in here.
And what did they say when you told them that?
No problem. You have the right. You have the right to freedom of assembly and peaceful protest.
So who was the lead person? I just want to know the name of the person that you spoke.
The lead guy right away was, oh man, can I look at my phone? Sure. Oh no, I don't have it. Let's go Andrew Wiersbicky, Jason Finley, who is the head of OPP, Nancy or Natasha Bach, B-A-C-H. Another gentleman, I can't remember the name off the top of my head, I can't remember his name. I have a whole list in a book back home, back at our residence, and it was all confirmed. We would never have been able to bring such a large capacity of trucks.
And they knew how many trucks were coming?
I was calling them every hour, every city that we were in, how many more we picked up as we were going. I called and said, okay, got another 100. Another 10,000, you know, and then they would say how many four-wheelers, and I'd call and say, well, you know what, man, I can't even keep count of how many people are joining us. But the four-wheelers aren't the main focus. It's our trucks. Can we get them in logistically? At that point, it was actually the OPP services that got us the airport tarmac out in Arnprior to house all the guys when we got here. It was them who set up the logistics for parking. It was them who set up the roads and the routes in which we were coming in. We were actually escorted in by police. You don't get a police escort unless it's already been confirmed.
And just to be clear, did the
Few people don't know what's going on. I don't even know who he's talking to. I was in a press conference of the police. Hey, Sandra, who is he talking to? À qui parle? Quelqu'un qui sait à qui parle? J'étais à la conférence de presse de la police, là. Fait que là, il y a plein de conférences en même temps, là. C'est difficile à gérer, là. There's tons of press conferences at the same time. It's kind of hard to manage. Everybody knows? Can you tell me? Please. Oh no, what's up with Pat now? Very hard to know the truth of things when everything gets shut down every fucking minutes. What do you say, guys? Well. OK. Ben, c'est ça, je te dis. On était sur la conférence de la police. C'est ça le problème. On était sur la conférence de la police, puis... Non. On était sur la conférence de la police. Je l'ai dit, là, cette affaire-là de la fan, c'était up to no good, hein. Je l'ai dit, ça, je savais, là. C'est une niaiserie là, de la police là, avec les fences. Là. Je savais que ça allait up to no good. Attends une seconde. Je vais aller voir qu'est-ce qu'il y a avec Pat. Oh, j'étais curé là. Bon, je pense que Pat il est tombé puis il est revenu. Ouais. Ivan Balgor. What the hell? Il est où Pat dans ça? Ici? Pas funny là. It's not playing, but it's not playing. Attendez tout le monde. Je sais pas pourquoi vous êtes là, on va attendre que Fat revienne là. Je joue qu'on est le 17. Je t'ai curé de tout ça là. 10 fois je refresh là, puis ça marche pas. Sandra, tu es là-dessus là? Ça marche-tu de ton bord, esti? Ça marche pas de mon bord à moi là. Il est où Pat, tout ça? Il marque live, mais. Il n'y a pas de rien. Ouais, là, on n'a pas de choix. Faut attendre Pat. C'est marqué live, mais c'est noir.
Hey guys, I'm back. I'm back. Share it out.
Bro, okay.
Oh man, they crashed my phone. They crashed my shit. I guess they don't want the truth to get out. Give me 1 second, folks. I'm gonna get it back up. Give me 1 second. Hold on. No, that was basically the end of that. That piece. That was near the end of what happened. That was intense, guys. I don't know what to say. I got it up. I got everything back up. So you're going to be able to get that back out there. Ladies and gentlemen, I need everybody to share the shit out of that. I need everybody out there to please get that out for us. I'm going to go back to the end here. Just trying to share my screen to my phone. Hang on 1 second. Oh yeah, hang on. I came from Red Deer, Alberta, yes. Actually, we started in Red Deer that morning. We went down to Calgary. We picked up the rest of the group that came from.
Jewish people in particular, people who may have had relatives who didn't survive the Holocaust, for you to be drawing those kinds of parallels.
Do you know how many Jewish people are in those crowds out there that are standing with us and saying that this is the start of what they went through back in those days? You should really get down on the ground and go look at the people out there and talk to them. There's a lot of them out there.
You really see an equivalency here.
I can't see that I see it. What I'm seeing is, and what I'm hearing is history repeating itself from those times, from those days. That's how it started. You and I both weren't alive then, so we can't speak of those atrocities. But the people that are survivors and the survivors of survivors who have heard the stories are calling it.
There we go. There we go. Got it. Hang on 1 second, guys.
Very, very, very close resemblance to what their families went through. 100%.
So therefore, it's okay to tell people to wear yellow stars and things like that.
If people care to wear a yellow star, that's their choosing. Have you asked them if they were Jewish? Maybe they were Jewish. You could have went and asked them to see their tattoo if you wanted to. Maybe they had a tattoo as well. You have to look deeper into it instead of just giving a superficial look at things.
Is there anything else, Scott?
Earlier this week, Pat, the mayor said he had a deal with one of the organizers, and correct me if I'm wrong, but he came up and said, "Stand your ground." Can you talk about that a little bit?
The deal was to move trucks out of the residential areas.
You were in agreement with that.
Yeah.
Did you help negotiate that deal?
I never had anything to do with it.
But you were, because I seem to recall this as well, is that when it was announced, you said, no, we're not moving, stand your ground.
Yeah, and we did.
Well,
this is a very dynamic chessboard. So the chessboard moves as we play. So if we're stuck in a residential area and they want you in that side, well, then we just bring you up and reinforce you on the other ends of the other street. You never left. We just got repositioned.
No.
That's all.
Right.
They never
You
left.
started out by saying don't move, but then you agreed that people should move, I gather, is what you're saying.
Strategically.
Fair enough, okay. Sorry, unless you have something else, Scott, I just have one more last question. Oh, is it Linda? Linda, can you hear us?
The producer here, Pat.
Yeah, no problem.
Linda, are you still there?
I guess not. Okay, so I just want to, just as a last question, I just want to come back to this, because you said very clearly, and I've seen it with my own eyes and heard it with my own ears, the only way this will be solved is with bullets. Well, I want to give you an opportunity to explain that, because we are now sitting here at a time when police are preparing to move, to evict people.
You're really focusing on that bullet thing, right?
Well, why shouldn't I focus on it?
So what you should focus on is what was said in the 35 minutes before that happened, and was the fact that if you want to be the change you want to see in this world, you have to be that change. If you want to see change in this world, you have to be it. Do you want to wait until it takes bullets? Do you want to wait and take it to the point where all it's going to do is the only way it's going to end is with bullets? That's what I said. And that's
The only way this will end is
you're paraphrasing. You're paraphrasing what I said. You didn't hear the part before. And that's all right. I understand that. It's called hack journalism. It's called hack reporting. And they take a little clip and they focus on that. It is what it is. Carry on. I'm carrying on, and I'm having the greatest time of my life while I do it. And I'm very loved, and I'm very honored that I got the opportunity to stay here and do the Fifth Estate. It's kind of cool. It's kind of nostalgic. I'm kind of fanboying right now, but at the same time, there's a whole group of really peaceful, loving people out there that aren't going to bring any violence anywhere. They're not going to do a single thing. But you know who's going to bring the violence? It's Justin Trudeau and his police and his emergency act. They're going to bring the violence onto the people. We're not going to be the violent ones. We're going to be the ones sitting on the ground, holding McDonald had a farm. And if they want to come and they want to kick us and they want to beat us and they want to drag us to the dirt, then the onus is on them at that point. And we'll let the court of public opinion speak for itself at that point. Nobody is here for harm. Nobody wants to see anybody get hurt. Nobody. We want to sit here and actually fix things. And that's the big thing. We want to fix it. And we're asking our government to hear us and fix it. They work for us, not the other way around.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. We're golden.
Thanks for a minute, guys.
They just need a quick editing shot,
Just wanna grab it on the shoulder.
So you are saying that you're coming back? Is that what I'm-
Absolutely. Yeah. I've never been to the East Coast before.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, so figure we're this close and it's kind of substantial what's going on.
So when you leave, and when will you be back?
Probably leaving Friday morning to be there for Friday night. And then we'll test the day away on Saturday. And then after Saturday, we'll come back that night. Probably get back here a little late, probably 3 in the morning, Sunday morning. Yeah, just going out for a quick boot and, going for a rep. Going for a rep. Nah, it's not that far. Not when you're riding a Freedom truck.
Are you taking a rig with you?
Yeah, we take the Freedom truck. Yeah, we got the Freedom truck. So. Yeah, that's how we roll. He's pretty good. And we're Alberta. We know roads. We know how to drive. We're all professional drivers, so we're pretty good at driving.
All right.
Safe
travels.
That's it. Yeah, I know. Oh, you said you wanted some over shoulder stuff. Right on. Thank you very much. Yeah, you bet. Take care, guys. Make a hole here. Right on. There you go. Thank you very much. Hey, you know what? I look forward to the editing of it. Very skilled at the editing.
Thanks for doing this.
Thanks, man. Yeah, you bet. Just make sure when you edit it that. My George?
Yeah.
Oh, is he? George, you still in here? Oh, we're leaving.
Are you around tomorrow, or are you going to be
Yeah.
tonight?
No, I'm around all night and all day tomorrow.
We'll give you a call for something. I've got a few more interviews to do, but we'll give you a call. And I saw you walking around today.
Yeah.
Maybe Jilly can get out with you at some point.
It would be nice, if you see what I did, the last live video that I just did,
this afternoon, yeah.
with how we controlled the police and I got everybody away.
Yeah, I saw it.
So asking about the situation there, man, that was pretty nerve wracking.
Thank you.
The stress level, my heart was pounding. And that's what.
Haha, he even admits we did good.
Yeah, lots of time. Last time we were here, changing the world, man. Canada's everywhere watching us.
That's what one day mandates are going to be lifted when we get past this. And we'll even,
See that? Even he says mandates will be lifted one day, he says.
So come on, are we not making a difference? And that's right. Everybody wants to focus on a couple words. Thanks, brother. See you. Cheers. Main lobby, yeah.
Oh yeah, baby. And that's how you secretively record the whole interview. Now you see who one of the problem makers were in this group. And now I see it. James Bowder. Way to go, buddy. That's how you try and hang somebody. Nice try. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, that was priceless. And you know what? We sat there the whole time with the conspiracy theorist hat on. The whole time. So wait till this one hits the editor's table, and let's see what they really do. Because now we're gonna put this on a live feed. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great day.
Wow. You know what? You hear it from them. You hear it right there. Be careful. Be careful, CBC, how you edit that. You even have your own guy in there saying that we did a good job, and one day these mandates are going to be up and they're going to be done and it's going to be over. Letting you guys know right now, we don't play by the same rule book you play with. We don't try to corner people and get them to say provocative words, and that's what they tried to do. Now I'm asking everybody to share the shit out of this, please, because now I'm going to show you another one. And ladies and gentlemen, the gentleman's name is Evan Balgord. And Evan Balgord is part of the Anti-Hate Network. Evan Balgord is about to do a massive hit piece on me right now to push up the, to push the narrative of me getting in trouble and push the narrative to help his buddy, his one and only friend, to allow, I guess, the, hang on here. I'm just going to pull it up here. No, that's the wrong one. Hang on. Hang on 1 second. Let me just boot this up. I gotta look at my phone here quick. Hang on 1 second. And now what you've got is you've got a group that's been but unfortunately, it's the truth. And I know the truth hurts some people. I know some people don't want to hear it. I know some people are going to want to turn their heads and, swear and make sure that it's not. Hang on. Now, I know that what I need you guys to do is I need you guys to share this part out, and I'm going to put a couple clips in here. I'm going to put the truth out there, and unfortunately, it's absolutely horrible. Evan Balgord, Evan Solomon, all of you guys. I know Evan Solomon's going to do a hit piece tonight, and it's coming. I know what's going on. I've had members of the media already call me saying they're getting on the story right now. You need to watch. You need to listen. You need to get your pens out. You need everybody to absolutely watch this video, and it's going to be tough to swallow, but we've been after this for a long time to get this information out so that these people can be brought to justice for what they're doing in media manipulation. And here it goes, guys. Without further ado, enjoy.
And we're going to be discussing, of course, the big psyop here in Canada, the massive false flag that they've carried off in the nation's capital with our good old friend here, Michael Z. Half Bebo, right? And what I'm talking about right now is, where does this photo come, this iconic photo? Because it's the only photo of Michael Z. Half Bebo that exists. There is no other photos of him. Even though his mother came on here and was happy to provide all kinds of information saying, hey, look at this, Ottawa shooting by Michael Z. Half Bebo was the last desperate act of a mentally ill person. So his own mother throws him under the bus. Of course, she buys the whole story hook, line, and sinker because we need crisis actors. They need to get paid, and family members need.
Sorry, guys, my mic was off. I want to bring this up. The guys just ran it up. We got the video. Chris is being arrested. It sounds like everybody's he's being arrested for mischief. What are we mischiefing? There's no mischief. Okay, so there's the video. Chris is being arrested. Now, I'm going to pull up all the documentation that I have saying I am not with them, but I will definitely go down with them because those are my people. Those are the people that we brought here. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm asking each and every one of you to pull your bail money together. There's going to be a lot of us in there. And you know what? It is what it is. Lawyers are here. Lawyers are going to help. So I'm going to call my lawyer right now. And if need be, I will turn myself in and I will act lawfully as they are acting unlawfully. And this is some more crowd control. But I'm asking you now, spread that video far and wide, get it out to everybody, get it out to each and every individual out there so that we can, show exactly. This is going to be a defense video. Now it's on the interwebs. Now you can't take it down. If you got that video, my lawyer, I'm going to see what needs to be done. I will get in contact with people. This is how the game's played, ladies and gentlemen. They've got no grounds to do anything else. So what do? They use mischief. Mischief. We've been here for 2.5 weeks, and you're going to use mischief? Come on. I'm going to have to respectfully step away right now. I'm going to call my lawyer, and once my lawyer is here, Then we'll take it from there. But it's time to talk to my legal counsel. It's time to get the boys some legal counsel and see what they want to do. But I'll tell you right now, these two men right here, let's go. They are my best friends, and they have been with me, stuck through with me through thick or through thin. And I will never, ever back down. I will stand with them the whole time, and they will stand with me. And it looks like, boys, we getting 3 hots and a cot.
Let's go!
3 hots and a cot. Here it comes.
Ottawa.
Good. Maybe I'll get my wounds looked at because my leg's been pretty beat up. So, you know what? At least I know I got these guys in my cell with me, and at least I know that it is what it is. Ottawa Police Department, you're acting unlawfully. You know you are. And to everybody else out there, it is what it is, guys.
Down the line.
They're not going down by themselves. We're not taking them down we're not letting them go down by themselves. I'm calling the lawyers right now. I'm going to make sure that my guys and myself are protected, and we're not going to do it.
Everyone, let's get to Ottawa. Are you gonna watch us go down, or are you gonna be here with boots on the ground? Come on, everybody. Come on. That when shit goes down every year, I met people shook their hands in the streets night after night, and they said, "I gotta go." But when shit gets bad, I'm gonna be back here. You can count on me. You'll see my face. Let's see your face down there. I think the best place for us to hide, Pat,
in the wide open.
Come with us. Pat goes down. Me and George go down, and if me and George go down, who's coming with us? Let's go. Let's go.
It is what it is, guys. This is the law. This is how it's going to happen, and I'm calling legal services right now.
They've been planning to take us down one by one in the dark with us hiding and afraid in our homes alone. And now they've caught us on our feet in the cold, in the rain. They are fucking scared of us. You see the videos? We got the receipts on these fucking fools. They tried to intimidate us, and they were scared. I'm excited, boss. I'm excited.
I'm excited,
Let's
boss.
go! Come on!
We're gonna get a hold of everybody, guys. And remember, I have all the footage. I have everything that's needed. I have my defense counsel. I have a criminal lawyer. I have this, guys. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about George. Don't worry about Owen. Don't worry about Carrie. We are good. And we're all right. Understand, we knew what we were getting into before we left home. We knew that this was possibly a position that we are going to get at least some kind of resistance. And if it's a mischief charge, sweet. I'll be out. I'll sign non-assumpsit, and I'm out. Chris Barber, non-assumpsit. Make sure to file non-assumpsit.
Let's go. Come on, Canada. Come on.
And by the way, when I said I was going to New Brunswick or Nova Scotia, remember when Chris Barber said he was going to Toronto? Yeah, it's kind of the same tactic, right? I wanted to see how the police were going to react. They thought I was going to New Brunswick, Nova Scotia. They thought that's where I was going. We were never leaving. Checkmate. Have a great day, guys. You know what? It's still a good day. Everybody's vibing. Everybody's loving it. So what? A mischief charge. I'm not going to worry about it. But you know what I am going to do? I'm going to sit here and I'm going to stand by my principles. I'm going to stand with my brothers. I'm going to stand with my sister. I'm going to stand with everybody out there because I made that promise to each and every one of you. And I ain't going to let you go down with the ship. With you. Unfortunately, they may have made a silly move. And that being said, I'm going to make some phone calls. Give me 2 seconds here.
Okay, so now I'm not sure what happened to Pat, but he seemed quite certain that he's gonna be arrested. Oh, time will tell. I just know I'm very tired. Sandrawani, it was CBC was talking to. That's who he was talking to. Before I hang up, hold on. I'm gonna check if there's something of importance. Every time I turn around, it's a fucking press conference. I hope there's no more press conference. So tired. Oh, there's no more press conference, but Laura is live. Let's listen to what Laura has to say. Maybe she has knowledge. She talks to these people. Let's go listen. That's exactly who she's talking to. There's this guy screaming over there.
I do it 100 times! I did it! I did it! Come at me! What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do to me? Huh?
Who's this idiotic person?
I hacked Epic Hosting! I hacked Parlor! I hacked Gab! I hacked Truth Social! I hacked Go! Ibsen Go! I don't care! You can literally put my name into the news tab on Google, and you can find everything I've done. I am literally in every mainstream media publication for the things that I do. I'm not an unknown actor. I'm literally a famous fucking cyber terrorist. And you think that you can scare me?
Well, I think you can scare small children. But, you know, we saw a scary guy down yesterday at the thing, and not that many of you are watching that video I put up, because this guy, I mean, he had satanics all over his coat. You know, he's just coming to Jesus, right? Once he realizes the devil just wants to kill him, he'll be coming to Jesus down here. So he has satanic symbols, and he had these big teeth and everything that are on his face. And actually, you know, some of the comments of those that watch the video are like, well, I mean, he kind of a nice guy. He's just coming to Jesus. So we just pray for this hacker guy that something will help. Maybe, you know, sometimes just a help from maybe someone you need to unload some of those terrible things that have happened to you. I don't know what that is all about, but let's look at, okay, there is a number 93 jailed pastor fights on his knees. Chairman Trudeau declares war on God and freedom.
Okay, so I thought she was talking about stuff like that we want to talk about. She's not talking about what's going on. She's talking about other things. Okay, they don't seem to have. I think everybody is done with their press conference for today. I'm done for today too. It's 5:26. So unless something occurs again, I'll come back, but if not, have a good night, everybody. Thank you for joining. Bye-bye.